So, you know, it really would be nice if the world can now finally grow into the next state of being instead of being cast backwards again for another 30,000 years, just like the last time.
Has there been progress since 1992?
There has been, but the progress has been as a result of fear, and that really disturbs me. I think that any time that you want to really grow, if you're growing through fear, you're not really growing because of anything that has a good attribute. Instead, you're growing as a course of necessity. And certainly my message of the vision of the future, I don't perceive it as fear, it's just a very factual thing. But the people that have grown the most are the people that haven't encountered or embraced the fear. What I'm talking about is the world peace that's being pushed and pushed. Do you think it's any great mystery why the people in Bosnia and Serbia were brought to Wright-Patterson to talk about peace? What is being held at Wright-Patterson? The dead bodies of aliens and the wreckage of UFOs. Why did Russia suddenly fall? Why did the wall come down? Why have all these things started transpiring so quickly? The answer is very clear. There are people who are very convinced that this world is facing a very terrible fate. And the best way to unify all the forces of the world is to have a common enemy. And using a common enemy is a great motivator for everyone looking in the same direction and stop pointing fingers at each other. Unfortunately, that isn't a peace that can last.
So the peace from Bosnia was people saying there is evil out there that if we do not unite as a planet, we are going to be facing a greater evil. So get your shit together, and we'll show you evidence of this. Is that what it is?
They showed them evidence that there are people coming here from out there. See, the ultimatum that was given, and this was given back 20 years ago, and now we're getting closer and closer, and as a result of that, people are becoming a little bit more edgy about the circumstances as they unfold. But the ultimatum that was given was this: if you have not achieved a sense of peace by the year 2011, we'll just use that as a doorstop for a moment. If you haven't achieved a state of peace by that time, then you won't be here to try and achieve a state of peace. So what are your choices going to be? Because if you don't do it on your own, we're coming in and taking over. And that's all there is to it. And they know that if another group came in and attempted to do that, they would be powerless. So the only hope that they have is to use this as a hedge against the bet. They're going in and saying, look, this is real. This is imminent. We've got to work this out, people. We can't be continuing with these wars and this, so on and so forth. At the same time, knowing that this planet is being very carefully manipulated by dark forces. And at the same time, knowing that there are people who are living here who didn't originate here, who are wanting to try and promote the peace and the changes and to bring things into a state of being. That's why there are programs like this. There are people who are aware that are trying to bring this information to the public, not through fear, but through a series of pieces of information. So, in order for our world, and this is now my world too, in order for our world to survive, all it calls for is for us to take a look at ourselves and what we're capable of achieving collectively as a people, not through fear, but through desire and through the anticipation and the hope that peace can indeed occur on this world, and we can go on to a higher state of being, a higher state of understanding, where no one is in pain, where no one does without, where there's hope for a better tomorrow, a real hope. That's why we're here, and that's what the mission is all about. Everything else is secondary. If the people of this world haven't learned how to take care and be the stewards of this world, and how to take care and be the stewards of each other, then this world is going to continue on a downward spiral. The water, the air, the foods are going to become poisoned. And although the body is designed to detoxify itself under the right conditions, if you're living in a toxic world, you can only become as detoxified as the world you're living in. There's evidence of that every day as we live in the city. So if we haven't achieved this by 2011, that may be a point where there is no turning back. And perhaps by 2012, new diseases will emerge. I don't know. I don't know what the end result is. I don't know what the catastrophes might be. I just know that we're on a very thin course and something needs to be done.
And what tells you 2011 is the day?
The ETs told me. The Mayan calendar tells me. The Hopi prophecy tells me. The Sumerian text tells me. The Celtic text tells me. The Egyptian text, and about a half a dozen different tribes in the Amazon. Why is it they all have the same date? There's something very peculiar here, because these people are not in relationship to one another except that they're all on the same planet. But sometimes hundreds of years separate them culturally, and yet they all come up at the same date, including the ETs who are coming here.
And this is the last question.
Yeah, this is the last question. Please.
We're dealing with all of this. Why aren't you at the top of the highest mountain screaming? It's like wake up, wake up. Is it because would you be so heavily ridiculed that your purpose would no longer be served, or?
The reason I'm not at the top of the mountain hollering wake up, if you'll notice, the person speaks very softly. Everyone bends forward to hear what's being said. As far as being ridiculed, I think they will probably stop laughing when they start choking on the air they're polluting. I'm not worried about the ridicule. I'm worried about the future of this world. The ridicule, it's just going to bounce off of me. If this world dies, then where am I going to go live next? And why would I have spent an entire lifetime trying to make a difference and then see myself fail? So, because I don't fail, I have a great feeling that there's a tremendous amount of hope that this world is going to make it. And we're going to see the dawning of a new day on January 1st, 2012.